Okay, remember that they're changing my voice. This should be my last video in Oakland today. I'm on 8th Street in Jackson. And what it kind of looks like around here. And I'm going to be reading Habakkuk 2 real quickly. And I'm going to wrap this up. So Habakkuk 2. I will stand at my watch and station myself on the ramparts. I will look to see what he will say to me, and what answer I am to give to this complaint. So Habakkuk is trying to prepare himself to answer people who argue that the wicked are getting away with all this injustice. They're exploiting the poor. They're not addressing homelessness, and then they seem to live a worthwhile life, but they don't. They don't, the Lord will avenge the righteous. The Lord will take vengeance on those who trample the poor in a way that's unjust, and so on and so forth. The Lord's answer. Then the Lord replied, write down the revelation and make it plain on tablets so that a herald may run with it. For the revelation awaits an appointed time. It speaks of the end and will not prove false. Though it linger, wait for it. It will certainly come and will not delay. See, the enemy is puffed up. His desires are not upright, but the righteous person will live by his faithfulness. Indeed, wine betrays him. He is arrogant and never at rest. Because he is as greedy as the grave, and like death is never satisfied, he gathers to himself all the nations and takes captive all the peoples. Will not all of them taunt him with ridicule and scorn, saying, woe to him who piles up stolen goods and makes himself wealthy by extortion? How long must this go on? Will not your creditors suddenly arise? Will they not wake up and make you tremble? Then you will become their prey. Because you have plundered many nations, the peoples who are left will plunder you. For you have shed human blood, you have destroyed land and cities and everyone in them. Woe to him who builds his house by unjust gain, setting his nest on high to escape the clutches of ruin. You have plotted the ruin of many peoples, shaming your own house and forfeiting your life. The stones of the wall will cry out, and the beams of the woodwork will echo it. Woe to him who builds a city with bloodshed and establishes a town by injustice. And I'm first and foremost referring to the governing class, to the corporations and the social clubs and the various groups who seek to establish themselves and their offspring with generational ill-gotten gain, stolen goods, extortion, unjust gain, to their extreme shame. They seek to build America and their families and their groups with bloodshed, and they seek to establish themselves with injustice. But righteousness conquers injustice. Wickedness burns like a fire, and the Lord is a consuming fire. Without holiness, no one will see the Lord, but all the wicked who refuse to repent will be burned with the fire of God as they feel eternal shame for their betrayal of God and the righteous. Woe to him who builds a city with bloodshed and establishes a town by injustice. Woe to them who refuse to repent. Woe to people when they cannot see that I am Christ, and I am in the Father, and the Father is in me. Has not the Lord Almighty determined that the people's labor is only fuel for the fire, that the nations exhaust themselves for nothing? For the earth will be filled with the knowledge of the glory of the Lord as the waters cover the sea. Woe to him who gives drink to his neighbors, pouring it from the wineskin till they are drunk, so that they can gaze on their naked bodies. You will be filled with shame instead of glory. Now it is your turn. Drink and let your nakedness be exposed. The cup from the Lord's right hand is coming around to you, and disgrace will cover you. Disgrace will cover your glory. The violence you have done in Lebanon will overwhelm you, and your destruction of animals will terrify you. For you have shed human blood, you have destroyed lands and cities and everyone in them. Of what value is an idol carved by a craftsman, or an image that teaches lies? For the one who makes it trusts in his own creation. He makes idols that cannot speak. Woe to him who says to wood, come to life, or to lifeless stone, wake up. Can it give guidance? It is covered with gold and silver. There is no breath in it. The Lord is in his holy temple. Let all the earth be silent before him. So it doesn't take the genius to see that God is greater than your cultures. God is greater than being a thug. God is greater than any culture. of any race. I'm not a racial supremacist. I'm a man of God. Woe to him who doesn't understand that righteousness is greater than everything else. What is like righteousness? What is like justice? What is like moral purity and moral conviction? What is like the pure moral message from God? What is like true love derived from justice, which is the only way that it's derived? What hope do the wicked have when righteousness has left the earth? Like it says in Isaiah 57, the righteous are taken away to be spared from evil, but no one takes it to heart. But the wicked who choose to keep going forward, they choose to keep reproducing, seeing the technologies of the state. They see the psychological operations of the state. They see the social control of the state. And they keep going forward because they don't value righteousness, because they don't value justice. What hope is there for the future generations now that man is going to be hopelessly lost in iniquity after my flesh dies? Emmanuel means God among us. When the righteous are no longer among you, what will happen when the vine is dry and withered with no way back? Isaiah 24 says the earth falls never to rise again. Why does it fall? Because so guilty is it. So heavy upon it is the guilt of its rebellion that it falls never to rise again. It falls because it fails to be righteous. It fails to be just. It fails to accept that righteousness is greater than wealth and mere life and conformity. That a short righteous life is greater than a long wicked life.